Hey guys, welcome back to WWE Universe Mode. We're on NXT this time. This is the last lot of footage that I've got. I may or may not carry on with this Universe Mode. We'll just have to see where it goes and how much time I have amongst my other videos. We'll have a quick look through the matches, I think, to start with. So we have Bo Dallas versus Corey Graves kicking things off. Interestingly enough, Corey Graves wants nothing to do with Luke Harper. Maybe he's afraid of him. We're going to see Tamina versus Cameron to see if Cameron gets a shot at the women's title. We've got International Airstrike against the Wyatt families, again, to see who's in the running for the titles. Rusev versus Neville. Rusev really wants some revenge on Neville. And the NXT title match between Sting and Curtis Axel. So let's kick things off straight away with our first match of the evening. And obviously Bo Dallas, this is our first time, I believe, seeing Bo Dallas here on NXT. Very interesting character, to say the least. The always inspirational Bo Dallas. He would tell us all to believe. Most people just think he's Bo Ring, I guess you could say. I always used to love when he'd do like the whole, if people were chanting Bo Ring, and he'd be like, yes, this is my ring. Bo's an example of another guy I feel like they just kind of wasted as soon as he came up from NXT. Here we have Corey Graves, and I don't know where Corey Graves' mindset is at the moment. I mean, he feels humiliated by what Luke Harper did to him last week, by the fact that he lost. But yeah, he's in no hurry to get back in the ring with Luke Harper at all. But I think really we'll have to see if his game is off tonight here against Bo Dallas. It may very well be if his mindset's not right. I'm not too sure how my mic's going to sound in this one. I'm in a new room and it gets fairly echoey in here, so we'll just have to see. Again with the tie-ups, I really hope in 2K16 this is, I don't know if they've kept this the same or what, but it does get real old.
Neither individual is going to back down here.
I like the idea of the rest holds in the new game. Like, I want to see more of that rather than this whole kind of thing. Bo just working the arm of Corey Graves. They seem quite equally matched at this point. It's interesting when you can see a match that's not completely dominated by one person. Ref not doing his job there, not counting as Corey was on the ropes. Maybe an early pin attempt, could this be? No. See, because some people always try and go for that quick pin. They think that's the smart way to go. Other people think you need to have worked your opponent a lot more and know that you've got to weaken them down before you can go for that pin. I think Bo just caught Corey Graves, but I think Bo got a lot of that as well. And now the pin attempt. Not even a 1 count. You know Corey feels like he has to win this match. Of course, Corey Graves more of a submission specialist. Sometimes for the submission artists, I find it's more difficult for them to end the matches. So glad that they're fixing the submission system in 2K16, because it's like a lot of people said, if you're really worn down, your opponent might just like slap on any old submission and end the match, and it wasn't realistic at all, and it was incredibly annoying, so I'm glad that that's being addressed. When I first got this game, it took me so long, because when it said hold R for ring escape, I thought it meant to click the right analog stick in, so it confused me, but I got the hang of it. Corey Graves looks really worn down already, but he's probably not 100% after his match last week on NXT. And see that low drop kick there. These are the kind of moves Corey needs to start applying more of if he wants to lock in the lucky 13. Big DDT on the outside. Will Corey take a count out victory? I think at this point he probably will. For Corey Graves, a win's a win. They've both got to be aware of that count though. Corey's back in, but Bo's dizzy. 7. The ref just like stopped counting then. The ref's really not doing a very good job in this match at all, is he? I wish we did get more than one referee in the games. That would be cool, because I swear in the old games, depending on what arena you were in, depended on your referee. Corey Graves just has absolutely no respect for any of his opponents, even the opponents that beat him. I wonder if we will get to see Corey. Oh wait, Corey, 1. No, just 1 count. He sort of fell into that pin there. But I want to know, will we see Corey Graves go one-on-one with Luke Harper again? The crowd is on their feet now. Just a 2 count. See, unlike Corey, a lot of the time Bo tries to find the positives even in his losses. Corey going for another suplex. Oh, into the pin attempt. That was just a beautiful move there. Another pin attempt. These two both look exhausted now. The crowd is on their feet, and Bo, big DDT. Crawls into the pin. 1, 2, 3. Match picked up there at the end. Both putting on a good showing here, but this means that once again Corey Graves has lost. You can be sure he won't be happy with that. Bo Dallas must be over the moon right now picking up that win. But it's like I said, Corey Graves wasn't 100%. Bo might not have been as lucky if Corey was at 100% and was feeling fresh. Maybe Bo Dallas made a few Bo levers here tonight. Because another big thing on NXT, if you can get a good crowd reaction, that will greatly help you get onto the main roster. So here we are now, we're going to get right on with the rest of the matches for this evening, a nice opener there. Next, of course, we have the women in action as Tamina Snuka takes on Cameron, and it's Tamina Snuka picking up the win. Does this mean Cameron is out of the running for a chance at the NXT Women's title? Next up, we have this tag team match. It's difficult to say, but I would say whoever wins this probably will be seen as #1 contenders for the moment for the tag team titles. Here come International Airstrike. I feel like the fans don't really know where they stand with International Airstrike at the moment. Whether they're to be cheered, whether they're to be booed. I personally am a big fan of them. But the challenge they've got ahead of them is absolutely huge, and this entrance was done so well in this game. It's very creepy entrance, and like Luke Harper and Eric Rowan just look amazing in this game. They even have the sweat patch stain, which is lovely. Here we go. It will be Eric Rowan starting off for the Wyatt family, and Justin Gabriel starting off for International Airstrike. You got two incredibly high flying guys, and then two really big guys on the other side of the ring. So it's interesting, really. Justin Gabriel just kind of, I think he'll need to stay on a high-flying offense, try and keep himself off the mat. Because if he gets grounded, he might not have a good chance. And a massive super kick. Another big kick. It's a good idea, just use the feet as weapons as much as you can. I much prefer watching when wrestlers do strong kicks rather than just throwing punches. Justin Gabriel's holding his own alright. Looked like he's trying to super kick his own partner. Probably just showing off for the crowd in attendance tonight. In comes Luke Harper. And the moves that this guy can perform are incredible for a bigger wrestler. Justin Gabriel fighting back. He really is doing pretty well. Oh, and a cheap shot from the outside. This could be a turning point in the match. Justin Gabriel might want to think about getting a tag sometime soon, if he's able to. There's the break right there, and he needs to take it. And the tag is made. In comes Tyson Kidd. Big suplex there. And Justin Gabriel looks out of it. In comes Eric Rowan. The ref's counting. I think he's counting for Justin Gabriel, but he's not trying to break any rules, he just can't get out. I don't believe it. The Wyatts have won via disqualification. They were just destroying Tyson Kidd there in the corner. I think the ref made a bad call there. Justin Gabriel was just trying to crawl his way out the ring. An extremely fast 5 count there, and they've been disqualified. You know they won't be happy with that. And it looks like the Wyatt family, they will be the ones who get a shot at the tag team titles in the future. And what a crazy end. It was quite a short match as well. I don't know what sort of decision will come out of that, if we'll get a rematch. I think a rematch would probably be the best idea. Anyway, we need to go on to our next match, which is Rusev versus Neville. Rusev lost last week, and I think Rusev, being one of the stronger guys, he was kind of embarrassed. And Neville, for the second week in a row, gets a win over Rusev. And you know that Rusev is just going to be out for blood now. Our main event for the NXT Championship, Sting taking on Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel, of course, got an upset win over Sting and earned this chance at the NXT Championship. One thing that's just occurred to me thinking about it, we saw I think it was Gabriel versus Bo. So this wasn't Bo's first appearance. He ended up losing to Gabriel last week. That kind of gave Gabriel momentum for a tag team title shot going into that #1 Contenders match. But here he is, our NXT champion, Sting. And I feel like the title's really the only thing that's keeping Sting here on NXT. Of course, he's new to WWE. So with Sting, he needed to go through the NXT process, go through the proper WWE process before he hits the main roster. And there's a man that's got to be feeling incredibly confident about this match. He's already proven he can beat Sting, and if he can do it again here tonight, he will walk away as the NXT champion. Let's see if Axel Mania can run wild tonight. And that, of course, is what they're fighting for. The crowd's already on their feet, and this match has only just begun. Sign of good things to come. You can imagine that the action in this one will just be fast-paced and furious. Both men will want to be ending this match as quick as possible. You got to think Sting's probably on his toes at the moment. He did lose last week, and I don't know if Sting shows fear at all, but perhaps a little bit of worry about his title. Sting with a good reverse there, a good takedown. That was impressive by Curtis Axel to get out of that. Some nice technical wrestling going on here.
It was a major happening.
Thinking about it, the more I look at this game, the more I'm like, this is such a nice looking game. And I can't wait to see if the graphics or the way it looks at least has improved further in 2K16. Sting's just hammering down with just punches and kicks. Wow. Nice move by Curtis. Actually came off the ropes and just span into a neck breaker. But see, it's great. This is why I love NXT. A guy like Curtis Axel, who would probably get lost in the shuffle on the main roster. He's here in NXT, and he's in the main event. He's competing for the NXT title. He's getting his chance to shine. Big Irish whip into the corner, taking Sting down. I'm surprised, really, that no one's gone for a pin attempt yet. Especially Curtis Axel, he's just working each body part. Taking out somebody's legs, of course, if they can't stand, they can't fight. That was very agile for Sting. Quick takedown. As, see the Jerry Lawler, I think, is always the one that's like, well, that's why they call it high risk. Sometimes it pays off and sometimes you fall flat on your face. A huge chop there. You can hear the woo chants now. I think Sting was trying to lure Curtis Axel to the outside, and it didn't really pay off for him. I really hope this doesn't end in a count out. A big title match like this, a main event title match. Curtis Axel's back in, but he can't win the title on a count out if Sting were to just walk now, and Sting getting the crowd fired up. Sting thinking about leaving? No. This looks like it's another huge neck breaker. But Sting's just come back out of nowhere. Sting's fired up. I don't know, it did look like Sting was going to walk, and then as soon as Curtis Axel started taunting him, Sting just came back in. Maybe it was the taunt, maybe Sting had planned, you know, maybe he was just firing up the crowd. Stinger splash. This is a nice series of moves here by Sting. Maybe it's a case of you shouldn't have messed with the ball because you'll get the horns on part of Curtis Axel. There's the Scorpion Death Drop. 1, 2, 3, Sting is still your NXT champion. Got fired up towards the end there, and that's why Sting's the champion, when you see a display like this. What's this? There's so much tension. This is like probably the biggest rivalry we even have on our NXT universe right now. In our WWE universe, sorry. And these two, I don't think these two are done at all. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go into the description and there's all the links for my Facebook and Twitter and everything there down below. We may carry on, we may not. I can't make any promises. We'll just have to see what the future holds. Thank you very much, guys.